Hey team, how are we going? It is Kaz from In the Trenches with Kaz. A little bit different tonight. I've been out of town looking after my daughter, school holidays, looking after dad, who's been crook as well. 84 years old, you can't take any risks, and we all know that. Guys, tomorrow I head off up north, not to Alaska, to Townsville, the home of the best authentic Mexican food in the world. Okay, I'm going up there not just for the food, but I'm going up there to Townsville, my old stomping ground, where so many lost their virginities, but not to me. And where I'd done most of my military career at the 2nd Battalion, formerly the 2nd 4th Battalion of the Royal Australian Regiment. Now, guys, when we go up this year, it's going to be different, because not only is it going to be Anzac Day, the Premier Day, the Baptism of Fire Day for Australia and the New Zealanders, it's also going to be Kapyong Day for Old Faithful 3rd Battalion, right? But it's also going to be the Kibeho 30th anniversary. Now, 30 years ago, we'd been warned by Alpha Company, 2nd 4th Battalion, that there was a situation going to occur at a displaced person camp called Kibeho. What is it? Well, the papers back in those days. Eh? Now, they're only good for starting barbecues. Righto. Rwanda. But we'd been warned there was a problem, and it was stirring, and it was going to be big, and it was going to be real, it was going to be bloody, and there's not much chance of this getting watered down. And there was really big dramas between the aid agencies that thought they were doing the right thing, despite the fact they were getting warned by the Rwandan patriotic army and government that had already killed 1 million of their own people pretty much. So you should take it fairly seriously that something was about to go down, and it did. So on this day, right now, 30 years ago, one of the sections from 4 Platoon Bravo Company, 2nd Battalion, after the delinking from the 2nd 4th Battalion, saw brutality start to occur in the low ground. Those that did not comply, not with what is a woman, but were going to the high ground where they could be mustered and then put into a position, an engagement area where they could be dispatched or at least disciplined by the new forces that were rolling into the Kibeho camp. That brings us on to the 22nd. On the 22nd, what's that? Looks like a car spring. Sounds like a car spring. It was turned into a weapon of war by the Rwandan Patriotic Army. Now, this was the Tutsis who were coming in to punish the Hutus for the 1 million people that were massacred in the previous year. So they came in, they took over the garrison soldiers that were there, because that had familiarity breeds love and whatever, boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever it was. And what ended up happening is they brought in some new soldiers that decided tomorrow is the big day. The big dance, 22nd of April, it kicked off. It had already kicked off pretty much the 21st. Everyone knew what was going to happen. I was waiting with the Zambians in a Zambian position. Didn't know I was going to get a chance to go in there. Couldn't wait to get in there. Absolutely excited to go and see what is this all about. The guys came back on the 21st and told the guys that were going after them the next day, this is the real deal. It's going to happen tomorrow. And sure enough, it did. The next day, JJ Saint, I can say his name because he's now passed away. He was killed in Iraq. God bless his beautiful family. And Justin was an amazing young man. He was killed in Iraq. And ironically, in a twist of fate, he was killed by an IED while coming home to call it quits to contracting in Iraq. And one of his good friends was in the vehicle that tried to save him. So God bless that man, and he knows who he is. I cherish him as well from afar. Something I don't cherish, watch out team, it's a bum pack. This is one of the most horrific pieces of equipment that was ever created and worn by Australian soldiers that at a time could let you know someone was not a combat soldier if they had one, because a combat soldier can't be trusted with this, a cammed up pillow to have on his back, so when he goes to an ambush and then gets told don't sleep or you'll be charged or killed, it's just too much temptation to bear. You couldn't do it. Howard Green fits in that, and that's about all. Not to be used as a flotation device, but let's get back to it. So the 22nd was where it kicked off. That is when the Medal of Gallantry was given to our platoon commander, for his stoic bravery and leadership that happened, that saved his own soldiers on a day which could have gone both ways, snakes or ladders. But it did result in the death of more than 10,000 people in front of Australian soldiers, most of those being women and children. Absolutely horrible. When those guys came back to the Zambian compound, we were told, don't interact with them. They're not going to be in the mood for talking. So what did I do? I had to go over there. I just had to know. Of course I had to know, because I was going the next fucking day. It was about to be my birthday, you know. And I remember when they came back, they looked like ghosts. You know, you knew something serious had occurred, something really serious. And basically, you end up saying, look, that's it. We deserve to know. We're going tomorrow. And so we talked to Justin and we talked to the other lads, and they end up slowly over the rest of the night letting us know what we're in for tomorrow. And it was hard to believe. It's, you know, I'd just come from Stockton, a surf town, and then to Townsville, eating Mexican food, chasing the gals. And here I was about to be plunged into something I didn't realise at the time was going to change my life forever, and ultimately end up, in the long run, having me on a pension talking to you right now, assisting those to follow my footsteps, despite the fact I never want you to follow the actual footsteps. You don't want to see what we saw, you know. And so with that, on the next day, we went into we went into Kibeho, and we saw the remnants of what had occurred and their attempt to cover up the massacres, etc. The killers, tired arms, coming over and asking us, could we give them drinking water, because they were so tired from what had been going on. The Zambian soldiers were looking at us like, what are you doing here? Gonna watch again? Or are you gonna help us out? But they were in as much danger as what the people were that were gonna get massacred. All we had to do was do one wrong step and it would have all been over. Elton John. But we watched and we waited, and we didn't know what to do. So we just started cleaning up. We started digging graves. We started picking up the dead. We started collecting them, and then we started to put them into a grave. And I remember asking, how do we know when it's big enough? And they said, it won't be big enough. No matter what you dig, it will not be big enough. So long story short, we were there that day. We went back to the Zambian compound at night. This is where the 4 names come from. The second night, we stayed there again and left the second night, and that was it. We turned our back on Kibeho. One of my good mates I'll see tomorrow ripped down the flag from the flagpole. It was meant to be mine, and he knows who he is, and he's got it now, and I'll see him tomorrow, and I beat him in the ice challenge. No, I beat him in the run. He beat me in the ice challenge. But anyway, guys and gals, just a quick story as a moment in life. You know, the 30th anniversary of Kibeho, it happens, and it's happening right now. 30 years ago, it was all going down. It changed my life forever. It changed so many lives forever. You know, it's got 4 names in my mind I can never, ever get away from, and I don't want to. I don't deserve to. I need to remember this. One was Julius, a beautiful little boy from Uganda. The second one was a beautiful little girl named Bernadette, who trusted me so much. You know, and now my daughter is named after her. Right? Then there was 2 little girls it was too late for. There was one whose name was Amalia, and another little girl whose name was Grace. Too late for them. So 30 years ago, Australian soldiers represented you in something we could not win, could not assist, could not make a difference in, other than to the individual. And we were very lucky, I imagine, to get back alive the way we did. That's kicked off again over there in Rwanda. They're now attacking people near Goma, near Congo, the Central Republic of Congo. They never learn. They never learn. And I tell you, it is the death of empires to go there, because you'll either lose your soldiers, you'll lose your money, and you'll lose your mind, and then you come back to something and try to live a normal life, and it just doesn't work that way. We were sent there unprepared on a mission we didn't truly understand for a people we also didn't understand. This week, I will be with all of the soldiers that turn up, some of them from across the world, to make it there, you know, and centralise in one location around that Mexican food, around the dinners, around all the work that has been done by those that set this magnificent event up. You don't go for yourself. You go there to reach out a hand to make sure your buddies are okay. I didn't want to go on this one. I've got so much on my plate, you know, but you've got to do it. You just have to do it, and that's where I'm going to be for the next 5 or 6 days. And I'm telling you now, team, it changed my life. I hope you don't have a situation like that, but that's reality, and it should make you love Australia, because we do live in the best country, overtaxed, sure, but safe. All right. So to Amalia, Bernadette, to Grace, and to Julius, if I had a hat on, I'd take it off to you. You know, and for all of those that served, they might not have lost their lives, but a lot of them lost their minds. And I'll be looking into their eyes tomorrow and the next days. And like I say, guys, appreciate what you've got. You only get this lifetime once. We've just come out of Easter, the time of forgiving. We're about to move into Anzac Day, the time for remembering. And all I can say is they shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. And at the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them, lest we forget. And if this is not a testament to mateship, 30 years later, guys coming together, then what is? I don't think plumbers do it. Guys, the military is the real deal. You don't have to enjoy everything that happens, you know, but at least you live your life and you do it around real friends, real brothers. And I can't wait to see them tomorrow if they watch this. Righto. I don't drink VB anymore. See you later. Anzac Day. What will you be wearing? And you'd better turn up, because they didn't know you and they fucking turned up for you, even if it was 100 years ago. See you later, guys. Duty first. For those following our footsteps, mucho respecto. To those people in Rwanda, I just wish you could fucking get it right, because it's goddamn tragedy. See you later, guys. Bam. And bam. See you later. Kiss your kids. Your kids, not someone else's.